Hello YouTube, what is going on? It is Epic Big Bird again. I've got another Rome Total War not live, it's a replay commentary to do for you today. You can see here, this is a 2v2 replay that I'm about to show you. I have chosen Pontus and I will be facing an Egyptian faction here that looks pretty heavy on Cretan archers and javelins. I believe this was a large funds battle, and my ally in this battle today will be Galatia. So here we go. I believe we're about to load in. We can start this little battle replay. Alright, so you can see I've chosen Pontus in this battle, and initially I was just going to form a shield wall with support from my eastern archers and eastern javelin, and then providing flank shots from the right with my more royal city and horse archers. I thought would have been a good sound strategy to use with Pontus. However, upon loading the map in, we find that our opponents have spawned into somewhat of a noob box, or more of a right triangle for some reason. Anyways, upon seeing this, I instruct my opponent, or my ally, to attack from this angle. So I want him to come in and hit these guys, and then I'm going to come in and hit these guys. I'm going to go into fast forward now, and we can take a look at the overhead. Oh, there we go. So yeah, what we're basically going to do is we're going to bring forward our skirmishers, and we're going to start targeting their Cretan archers that are protected within their triangle. And at the same time, I'm going to be moving forward my eastern archers, same thing, over to this corner, along with all my spears and my cav, to prepare for an assault on this corner of the wall. Now, we don't want to be heading straight on into the wall. We always want to target the corners of these defensive squares or triangles or whatever shape you choose. But yes, always target the corners. You're going to get the most kills for your value. Okay? And you can see here we've started a skirmish engagement. You can see he gets a nice volley into my horses, and I thought that, you know, with him blobbing up there, we'd be able to get good shots into him. But I think that these Hellenic Royal Guards are blocking most of my archer fire. I could be wrong on that, but from how the skirmishing battle goes, I don't see how else these Cretan archers just tear us apart pretty much. You can see when my cav is rolling up, like some of their shots are hitting the shield, some of them don't always go over. I noticed that when you retreat your cav, they always fire to the nearest unit, so that would be the shields in front. And you can see I'm not doing too much damage to these mercenary Cretan archers, which is a shame. So you can see basically the first half of this battle is going to be just a lot of skirmish action. He's going to be continuing to try to ward off my skirmishing component. You see here my ally has gotten into the mix with his slingers. Probably should have had them spread out a little bit more. But again, same thing. He's doing okay damage to these Cretan archers, but they have so many of them. But you can see here my opponent my ally is doing what I asked him to do, and he is targeting the corners, and he's doing pretty good on that. You can see the damage that he's doing. Like, he's dropping these guys really fast, and that's one thing we do because they're javelins. But yeah, it's because at the corners the units are exposing their flanks to you, and it's a shame that he didn't micro these Galatian raiders a little bit better. They probably could have been a lot more effective. But you can see here he's got all of his noble horses up in wedge formation, ready to try and drive through that corner, so that's a good decision. You can see over here we've pretty much used all of our mercenary Scythian horses up. They've pretty much all been shot with arrows. We have 2 units left that are still kind of running around doing some stuff, just kind of killing time, waiting for the rest of our skirmishing corps to come up. check out what's going over here. You can see my ally is down to what looks like his last 3 skirmishing units, and he is doing a number on this corner. You can see here. It looks like our opponents have already had to reinforce with a Theros spear here. And there you can see my ally breaks that corner, which is awesome. And now that's going to cause a reform, and their square is already much weaker. And now he's just going to target the next corner that he sees, which is right here. And again, it's a nice big clump of units. He's pretty much guaranteed a kill every time he throws. So yeah, he's doing a really good job of working that corner. I'm more focused on the ranged component. I kind of feel like my ally is probably doing the smarter decision and using most of his ranged skirmishing component to kill the corners of this army. I'm not sure if that's a good decision or not. I just don't feel like I'm getting a good amount of kills into these Cretans to make it worth it. You can see here we're getting a little bit better ratios now that we're skirmishing with our archers. He keeps bringing forward his javelins to engage, and that's a pretty good decision because there's nothing I can really do about that other than ward them off with my cav. And then I will take cav casualties as I'm retreating. So we're gonna just charge the rest of our archers into these peltasts, and we're gonna form up to try and break through this wall. We still have some javelins left over, so now I'm gonna bring it out of fast formation. Or fast speed, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're pretty much at the point where we've exhausted all of our ammunition. We're going to bring forward our javelins, which are armor-piercing rounds, and we're going to unload them into the flanks of these men. You can see here they have their backs to us, and these guys are going to just start getting slaughtered. And we did pop precision shot, so you can see this is just tearing these corners down. Like, these guys have nothing. They have nothing against these javelins. Like, we're just tearing apart these 2 Hellenic Royal Guard and Thorax pikeman units. They're already down to 54 men. So let's see here. He has a few more units in reserve, but this is good because we're causing a little bit of a shake. I'm gonna try and charge my horses through into the muck. We don't get a great charge, and this causes him to reform, which I kind of like. So we're gonna pull out with the cav real quick because we didn't get a break like I wanted. I thought a good charge would give us a break, but I was wrong. There you can see we suffer a huge volley from those archers. There we break those thorax pikes that are on his corner, and now what you can see happening to my opponent's well-defined box is it's starting to collapse, and these units are pretty much rendered useless because their sides are turned in, and that's what I'm talking about. And we're going to continue to just use our javelins to target the units that have their their sides turned to us, because that's where we're going to be doing the most damage. We're not going to be wasting our javelins on the fronts of these Thoros spears because we honestly won't be doing enough damage to make these javelins cost effective. So there we use the last of our javelins. I'm trying to sneak in. I'm probing with my light horses to try and open up a hole for my Galatian partner to strike at these archers. You can see here he's going to decide to make a move. The Theros spears are going to try to intervene, but I'm going to intercept them first and hold them up with a charge of my own. And you can see here we're actually cutting down quite a lot because he's choosing to pursue the Galatian noble horse. So that's pretty good. And the Galatian noble horse does succeed in getting into the backs of those light peltasts, which is pretty huge. We force him to mobilize some more Theros spears to change the engagement. I'm gonna throw these javelins at these Cretan archers to try and break them, because we're out of javelins. And here is where I make a mistake. You can see how boxy my bronze shield pikemen are. This formation would be good if your bronze shields were about to be taking on, say, a cavalry charge, or an elephant charge, or a chariot charge, anything of those large unit types, this kind of blocky formation would work. Now what we're going to see later on in the battle, since my opponent is much more spread out than I am, that's actually going to cause him to do a lot more damage to my units than I will do to his. This Sarissa battle kind of goes up in the air. I'm still experimenting a little with what works and what doesn't as far as pike units and hoplite units. I'm not the best with them, so I can't tell you just exactly what will and won't work when using these. But you can see here my bronze shields are just totally absolutely cracking under these Hellenic Royal Guard units. They're all out of formation. Same thing's happening here. Over here we routed these pikemen because it's not like a really hard unit. Over here you see I'm still probing with my cav, trying to sneak through. Right here you see that I see a break. I'm going to sneak through there. I think my opponent isn't focused on this side of the battlefield right now. So now I have 2 cavalry in the midst of his noob box, and this is what you want to do. You want to get your cavalry in the middle as soon as possible. Even if your cav gets slaughtered by his pikes, that forces his pikes to turn in on his own noob box, and then your infantry corps can march through their backs, and that's going to cause a huge number of casualties to his men. So you can see here, I get my noble bloods into his archers, but since he still has so much ammo, he's going to shoot the crap out of them. Over here I've engaged my other noble blood cav with the rest of his archers and his general, trying to relieve my Galatian ally here. And you can see here most of my bronze shield pikes have died against his wall. Over here, I've noticed that this has happened. So just like I said, I've reformed my line and I've gone with a more elongated tactic. So I'm going to issue this bronze shield to engage on this flank, and I'm going to issue my general around the flank to try and start collapsing this flank. And then I'm going to take my remaining bronze shield pikemen and I'm going to bring it over to support the left flank here. Now you can see here his general is riding out with a Potomac cav. I'm going to try and meet it with my noble bloods. That I think this is my last noble blood cav unit, and I was going to try and sandwich it in between those bronze shield pikes and make it short work of it. That doesn't happen though, unfortunately. I'm catching a lucky break here with these Hellenic and Thorax pikes. My ally must be focused elsewhere on the battle, somewhere around here probably. Because if these Hellenic Royal Pikes would be mobilizing, I would be in trouble. I'm getting my bronze shields into these pikemen, and they're going to make short work of those pikemen. You can see here my opponent is mobilizing some Theros spears to get into the backs of these bronze shields. That's not good. However, we are cracking the rear of these Theros spears with my general. I'm turning around these bronze shields to try and meet these Theros spears. And there you can see I pop a rally, and I'm still pursuing my opponent's general with my noble blood cav. So here you can see we route those Theros spears. Now I'm going to take my general actually off formation attack and attack these pikemen. Since he's coming from the flank, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. And here I'm going to turn around and sandwich this Theros spear in between these 2 units, and I believe I take everybody off formation attack at this point. Oh no, I'm sorry. At this point I see he's swarming my units, so I go back into formation attack. So right now I want my units to hold out for as long as possible. But you can see here he's kind of trying to overwhelm this one bronze set of pikes, and that kind of backfires on him due to the fact that my units, after they reformed, were much thinner across. They can now envelop most of his army, and that's what I'm going to be doing down here. Over here you see I managed to get my bronze shields in between his Potomac cav and my own noble blood cav, and that is going to completely absolutely rout his general, and that's going to be a huge decisive blow at this stage of the battle. You can see here he's getting desperate and he throws his mercenary Cretan archers into the rear of my army. That's not going to do much to them. Here his Egyptian pikes are trying to outmaneuver my bronze shields, but it's just not happening. My bronze shields are holding steady and just cutting them down. I'm mobilizing my noble bloods to try and provide relief to my Galatian skirmishers over here. And here I take my bronze shields off of formation attack. Again, just trying to mop up this attack real quick. And down here we see that we're getting a rout. So I'm going to bring my general over to support this fight over here. But then at the last second I see he's not going to need it. My noble blood get into those light pell tests. And these Hellenic Royal Guard are going to hold out for not that long. But yeah, guys, this was the battle that I had to show for you guys today. I figured it would be good for some people to see possibly some tactics on how to take down some of these defensive squares. They're not as popular online after post 9 or patch 9, but I do see them from time to time. So I hope that you learned something. Again, always go for the corners. Really target those hard. I'm not sure if using your skirmishers on their skirmishers was worth it. I think in the long run it probably was. I was able to rout 3 or 4 of his Cretans, so that's good. Alright guys, but thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content. I hope you guys can take something from this video and put it into your own battle strategies. So please stay tuned for the next video. Thank you guys.